Okay. Good morning, Burbies. Good morning, or whatever time you're catching the playback. If you are not here now, I am thankful that I have Miss Chloe Telle with me. She is one of my. She started out as one of my Facebook friends on social media, and she has come somewhat of a play sister to me. Now, she is in education, and before we get started with the conversation, Miss Chloe Telle, you want to tell people a little bit about you.
Well, good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning. First of all, I am a teacher. I do a lot of equity work. I'm huge into politics, but especially how it deals with Black people. And so, we've had an emergency in the past couple of we've had an emergency in the past couple of years, but I'm gonna get to that later. So a little bit more background on me. Like I said, I'm an English teacher at Webster Groves, and I just enjoy kids. I enjoy serving all kids, and so this is passionate for me. This is something about my faith. This deals with everything. When you talk about
Yes.
serving all kids, people talk about this as a Christian nation, child. Look,
Right.
look.
Right.
BurbNBougie and I've had that talk before,
Right.
because if it was all that, guess what? It wouldn't be a question about serving all kids. Okay, that wouldn't be political.
So,
I'm a clap for me.
right. And so, for the people that are tuning in and who know me, I am an agnostic woman, meaning I do not believe in any kind of organized religion. And Chloe is a Christian. I get along with people, and I want people to know and understand that.
Hmm.
And the thing is about Chloe, she is a teacher who's a Christian and she is still accepting of her students. And that's where people get things wrong, is that you can have your beliefs. You can have your beliefs that are strongly held. You can act the way you want to. You can behave the way you want to and still accept that other people's lives might be different. So
Right,
I know
right.
it just.
I don't understand how people just be fumbling the ball with that one. Good,
Right.
good morning, honey. People, you know what? Here's where we get it wrong. And I've told people, I know this is going a little bit off of but see, you and I are organics. You all have to excuse us. I mean, we are going to do a show. We're a little on the organic side because we know each other. Here's
Right.
what I tell people. You know what? The people of faith in the United States, they are right now exercising what I call a state-sponsored religion. It's no different than what you see in some of these countries where they're forcing their beliefs off on others.
So, real quick, my landlord is working. Do you hear the hammering?
I just heard it because you brought it to my attention.
Okay. I am going to move to a different room. So,
Okay.
I'm going to get up and walk away. The bad thing is, I got my lighting set up in that room. Oh, man. My landlord does everything himself instead of hiring folks.
Child. I got all those folks over here too. They listen. They
Just
want.
hammering away, just hammering. But it's all good. I got other places where I can talk. Let me get my chair. All right. So, okay. All right, there we go. Now, before I came on here with you, I I just saw this article with this woman. She is an educator in Texas. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you saw this. I know we've talked about Florida, but this educator in Texas just went on a panel and said she's an ex educator. I mean, she's an ex teacher, but she's working in the teaching profession as some kind of official. But she said that many of her fifth grade students, when they got to fifth grade, could not read. She
Mm-hmm.
admitted this in the public sphere. And I just did the article, I just posted the article on my page, and I am dumbfounded by this
Mm-hmm.
because these standards that they are putting on teachers hamstrings them. It's like hamstrings y'all. Like you got to push these people through, and it doesn't matter how they're pushing the kids through. They just have to get
Okay.
pushed through. And what kind of populace are we going to have with teachers that are pushing through kids that don't know how to read?
So this brings me to the CRT stuff. Folks, everything you're seeing right now, everything you're seeing right now, you have to forgive me, honey, because I'm not, listen, I'm trying to work with my lighting over here. Everything you all are seeing right now is not an accident. I want you all to first, I'm going to address that. I want you all to not sleep on these people, because this is systemic and this is on purpose, the way they're dumbing down our population. Texas, Florida, baby, Florida has so many teacher openings. I'm trying to find out who's opening the schools every morning. And let
Right.
me tell, look, my home state, Missouri. Hey, I advocate in some states, I advocate in some districts where 150 teachers have walked off. Do you hear? Walked off because they're tired. And so here's what I'm telling you all. So you have kids who can't purposely read.
Right.
Then you turn around and ban books. So if I'm trying to teach you how to read, why would I ban books? Then hold on. And in each of these states you're talking about, guess what they did, everybody?
What?
They're starting to loosen up child
Child
labor
labor
laws.
laws. Yes.
Folks, they getting ready to enslave your kids, and people are not. And let me tell you something. Listen, Black, white folks, you all better pay attention, because this is not for the top 1%. This is for your percent.
Right.
This is who this is for.
And that is what I don't like about the current climate of just talking about politics. All of this is interconnected. Running women out of states, running teachers, running the medical professions
Did you
out
hear
of
about
the
the
state.
Idaho teacher?
What happened in Idaho?
Idaho teacher of the year. She got, good morning, she got ran out of her state because she wanted to support her LGBTQ students. So you had a qualified, certified teacher that taxpayers have invested in. So she left because, well, you didn't like her beliefs, so now your kids don't get to learn from her.
Man. And so this is you know that people don't know history. And it is annoying to me because I'm a reader.
Yes, you are.
To the Burbies, I might speak like this, but I am highly read. And I read history, and like reading about when desegregation happened. And some of these states would have rather closed the schools for everybody instead of um, teaching Black kids. That is what they are doing with these gay kids or these gay teachers. They would rather nobody have the education. They'd rather shut down libraries than to be inclusive. And it's just like it's a parallel. History is a parallel. Like people say, history rhymes. It is crazy.
Yes. And here's what they don't understand. So let me do this a little bit. Yes, she reads, she will read you like an overdue book. Okay, Bourbon, she will read you like an overdue book. You're right. And let me tell you something. So let me start here, folks, because too many people think that the CRT thing is something that's beyond them, that's just going away. People, this is white supremacy pushing back at any progress. Anytime Black folks, marginalized people make progress, white supremacy will always push back and push back hard. Like what's going on in Arkansas with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They tried to shut down that AP Black History class, which, by the way, that school district said, forget you, we're teaching it anyway.
Right.
Hello? They teaching it anyway. They did that because guess what they saw, folks? A lot of white children were signing up for it. See, let me tell you something. It's not a problem till it's white kids. Okay, let me do that again. This is why on my channel, you all must come. Yeah, I'm about to plug me.
Go ahead.
Why you need to come on Educational Yours Too and BurbNBougie, because here's what we know. Black folks, you are the target, whether you know it or not. Your progress has always been the target. Okay, they do not understand how you came from segregation, Jim Crow, Black codes, and all of this internalized bias they have in these institutions, and you still getting your degrees. You're still owning businesses. They don't understand how you were able to do it. So now they're shutting down at your school level any support that can plant a seed for your kids. And I'm gonna tell you something, folks. It's one thing to pick on me as a grown person, but when you pick on my kids, I got to come for you.
Right. And so, if you're joining the live, please hit like for me. Let's try to get this live into the
Please.
algorithm. And everybody, make sure that you go ahead and follow Chloe. Like she says, she is at Educationally Yours, because this is what she does. This is what she's passionate about.
Yes.
And like I said, this is a crisscross of many different proportions. It is not just going to impact these libraries that are being closed.
Nope.
They are doing this because it is insidious. It's like, these Republicans, they talk so much about freedoms and small government, but everything that they are doing is simply squashing freedoms. And the people get on my pages, get on into social media discourses. Well, the Democrats are just as bad too. But
No.
what freedoms are like? What are they silencing? The Dems are a real umbrella of people, and Republicans are like squashing conversation at every point.
Let me tell you all something, because I'm going to cut that off too right now. I don't want to hear about that. Ew, but they're both bad and we need the lesser of two evils. Honey, save that. Because when Black people vote, see, people try to act like Black folks when we vote that we're being unintelligent or overly emotional. We vote to do the least amount of harm to people. We understand the Democrats are and all that. We're not stupid. But here's what I'm also looking at. I'm looking at within the past year over, I can count at least 130 anti-CRT laws going against Black history have been passed in this nation within the past year. I'm looking at the fact that in Oklahoma, honey, your former state, in Oklahoma, teachers are being fined $1,200 if they're caught teaching certain lessons about Black history. Tennessee is just as bad. We're talking about people losing their license all on red soil. So don't tell me about what the Dems are doing, because they're doing none of that.
I'm like you said, you brought up Oklahoma. I'm sorry to cut you off. I am from Oklahoma, and what makes me so mad about Oklahoma curriculum is that people, like, I was not taught about the Tulsa race massacre in my Oklahoma history class. But you know what we were taught? We were taught about the boomers going and the land run, and how they went out and they conquered the land and all of that good stuff. Because who writes the curriculum? They want to continue to write this sanitized version of history that only valorizes them. And so talking about the other stuff that does not keep them at that high position, they want to keep sanitized. And just to speak on it, it's like, oh my gosh, our children, what about our children hearing this stuff?
And understand, when they say protect the children, they don't mean your children, they mean white children.
Right.
Hold on. They mean white, Christian, cisgendered children. They don't mean your kids.
Right.
I need you all to be very clear. So let me also pull this in with the CRT. This impacts Black women, and most people don't think of it like that. When this CRT debacle got started, what happened was Donald Trump was having a horrible time with his campaign, getting reelected. So this young man named Christopher Rufo came along with the 1776 Project, saying, oh my God, here's why our nation is experiencing so many problems, because these people are teaching about race in schools. And so he, with the help of the evangelical church, of course, they all got together and they started pushing this CRT, like we're teaching about all this race, all this diversity, this gender war. All of this is coming from the same people. So Christopher Rufo, and he's even openly admitted, he went on the Joy Reid show and openly admitted that he's lying about what he said. But folks, this is the danger of white men. See, white men's lies last. See, Black folk can tell the truth, and it takes us a couple of generations to get folks to even think about it. White men, when they lie, honey, it gets published in textbooks, it becomes law, and it becomes the way your children have to learn. That is
Right.
why you have all these people now grifting like PragerU, sending out these horrible Black history lessons and hoping that you'll download them and think you're getting freedom, and you're not. That's why people like me, I'm going to create Black history lessons, and I would like for and folks, I'm unabashedly letting you know what I'm doing. I am
Right.
not only trying to get you organized as parents, but I'm going to push curriculum that is going to respect the humanity of marginalized children. And when I get that up, please patronize me, because let me tell you something, they're getting funding, and they're getting funded from deep pockets. Christopher Rufo has the funding of people like Elon Musk, Andrew Nog, all these people who are invested in marginalizing Black folks. And the CRT debacle started with them responding to a Black woman, Hannah Nicole Jones, her 1619 project.
Right.
And you all saw how they tried to discredit her. Black women
Right.
have been targeted the most as being angry teachers, as being socialists, as being targeted for harassment. I have interviewed teachers, Black teachers all over this country who've had their lives threatened. These people
Right.
have taken this and they're doing Klan behavior, folks. I'm telling you.
and and because of the whole debacle and what they do, it's so crazy.
Mhm.
Once they like come for a book or come for a woman,
Yes.
it's like, let me get that book. So I immediately started listening to the 1619 project, and there are so many tales. And what I love about this current climate is that social media allows us to continue to talk. They might be in charge of the curriculum, but Black women, we talk a lot because we see a need, we see some oppression, we see something that is just not right, and we talk about it. And us just talking about it is what makes us angry. Us having some passion about our children, and that makes us angry. That
Yes.
makes us the socialists. And it's just like there is only one party that is trying to silence me.
Only
There's
one.
literally only one. So it's like, even if I wanted to be independent, even if I wanted to be a Republican because I believe in something that they might have said over there, the fact that they keep coming for women on so many levels, they're coming for nurses, they're coming for teachers, they're coming for our reproductive rights, they're coming for many different things. It's like, I cannot stay silent on this. Like, I literally have to keep pushing other women to the forefront that might not have a microphone. And we just have to keep on talking about this stuff.
Oh, and let me go a step further. So, what you're not seeing in the media, and these are things that I want to cover on my channel, you're not seeing the number of Black educators that have been targeted. You're not seeing the number of Black educators that have been driven out of the field by these people. You're not seeing how we've been terrorized on social media. Folks, let me tell you, you're not seeing it. Let me tell you something. I myself have been targeted for teaching CRT. I've been targeted. I've been misgendered. That's right. I had people at one point rumored that somehow I was a man, that I'm
Right,
sitting up here like, I mean, hey, these people are not playing, and they're not above targeting Black children. In Temecula, California, I'm doing work over there where Moms for Liberty literally took a young Black actress, called her a clown online, put her picture out, made fun of her, sent her threatening notes one after another. Listen, these people are not playing with you. And this is why I need you all on both of our channels, because I also deal with organization. We need to talk about what we're seeing in each of our states, because folks, they are driving Black teachers out of the field. And here's
right.
what's so insidious, BurbNBougie, here's what's so insidious about the 1619 project, the 1776 project, the 1776 project. Guess who they got to respond to her?
Um, that Thomas Sowell dude.
A bunch of Black men.
Yeah,
That made Black men. I'm not trying to drag you this morning. Baby, as a Black scholar, they couldn't have got me in this
right,
climate to even respond to Hannah Nicole Jones, because they needed you to.
Right.
And if you read their essays, it's not just him, John McWhorter. All these people talk about Black people, they're so victim minded, and we have to talk victory, and we have to. You, as a Black woman, you could not have paid me to address another Black woman on their dime. And notice how they're pushing all these people of color, not just Black folks, up forward. Look no further than the Republican presidential
Right.
debate.
Right.
Come on now, come on. They're not
Right.
coming as themselves. They sending you out to talk
And,
crazy
and
to you.
and that, that's the reason why it comes down to Black women, because we understand oppression at the level of sexism and racism, and that's the reason why they don't want us talking, and classism, because for those of us that have a couple of dollars, life looks different than when people don't have any money and are in survival mode. And so, that's the reason why they don't want us to have these conversations. And the way we are using social media to reach people. In the chat, y'all, go ahead and drop where you are listening from. Go ahead and comment. Where are you
Yeah, North
listening from?
Carolina, you got yes,
We
man.
drop where you're listening from, because what they did not, they gave us social media. Thank you, Beyonce. Thank you, Al Gore, for your series of tubes. We appreciate it, but we have been able to utilize what we have to, like, compare notes. And
That's it.
so we're able to compare notes, we're able to talk about education on a wider scale, and we're going to be able to organize. Like back in the day, we could organize and have like little groups, but we are going to
Right.
be able to have bigger groups
Yes,
all over the
ma'am.
place, because it's going to be
That's what I want.
virtual. So we got Maryland in the house, we got Tennessee in the house, we got
Woo,
Texas,
Tennessee.
we got Illinois. So we have people, we got people in
Ooh,
the South, we got people in the North, we got people in the West. And what is going to be dangerous about us, because my channel is still small. If y'all haven't subscribed to my channel and you're on this live, please subscribe, please hit like, and please subscribe to Educationally Yours. Please do that, because my channel is small right now. But as I get bigger and bigger, and they keep trying to shut me down, is only, oh, we got Jamaica in the house. All right.
we need
As
you
they keep
too. 'Cause they ain't
they
playing.
as they keep on trying to shut me down, I'm just gonna keep on popping up somewhere else, because they know the dangers in Black women talking,
That's
and
it.
Black women coalescing and organizing.
That's it. Folks, we have to form this. We have to form this as an underground railroad. We have to, because they're after. Yeah, protesters follow her to a vehicle and try to attack her. Folks, they're doing Klan behavior right in your faces. This is why I'm telling people, come to my channel. And look, here's the beautiful part. You're coming under your name, under your username. Hey, I don't mind being the front person. I don't mind being the front person because I'm one person. But when there's a
Right,
whole series of us, they
right,
can't trust us all. And I
right,
want to be that person to teach you all how to organize and how to push back. I guarantee you at that meeting, she was by herself. You have to go in groups because they're cowards. This is one thing I've picked up on about these people. They're cowards. They don't, like, for example, in Florida. In Florida. Did you all hear about Boonell Elementary? I'm gonna give you all just a little bit. Where they pulled those Black kids in, and they told those Black kids if they didn't get their test scores up, they'd be shot in the street.
And so I didn't get a chance to make the video. I wanted to make that video, but were the people that did that, were they Black?
Some of them were Black. This is why I keep telling you all, this work that I do is not just for white people, it's for Black people too, because we have digested this foolishness as truth. That's why you were able to get Black men to respond to a Black woman with the 1776 Project, because they think if I just assimilate, I will be okay. People, we have tried that for 529 years. There's something called a pattern. Stop
Right,
it. I want you to
right.
stop it. She don't assimilate. I appreciate that about her.
Yes.
We don't
All
do it.
right. So she said, my guest is amazing. And yes, she is. You know what? She has also, she works in education, but she was also a political person, some kind of political, what were you
Ma'am,
doing in politics?
in politics, I've worked on both sides of the aisle. And I've worked on both sides of the aisle and I work strategy. That's how I know how they move, folks. This is why I'm telling people get to my channel. They have talked Black folks into believing that we can do this as individuals. Like when this first happened, I don't know if you all remember Alabama, what they tried to do with their Black history curriculum. Notice you haven't heard anything else from that situation. I tried to call down there and tell them we need to form a network to keep holding these people accountable. Folks, you can't do this in your individual state. We got to all get together on this because if
Right,
nothing else, we need to stand 10 toes down. And I don't care if you're homeschooling, the fact that these people even got Black folks to create Black history lessons that say
right,
slavery is okay to push out to you for homeschool teaching. This is bigger than that. They even want to take over our universities.
right.
Folks, folks, this is a devil. We got to fight them. I'm sorry. I don't know. Get me
But
leave me alone.
what's going to be interesting is going to be the outcomes. You know, I talk data all the time, and what Florida is doing with new college is going to be so interesting. They're like, colleges is becoming too feminized. It's too many women in
Mm,
charge. All right, bet. Let's scrap all that women stuff. And now they got all these men, and the women and the people that were there knew the logistics. They knew that these students needed housing. They knew that students need housing without mold. They knew. And then if you have all of these male students and you're scrapping, so that means that your grade point average is going to go down. Because let's be for real, who is smarter? Women are smarter. Women, and they don't want to admit this, but what is going to come out in the wash is that women are smarter and that women are the ones that are creating the logistics that make education work. But
baby,
they get, huh?
this is why I even tell them folks at church, baby, God created Eve because he saw Adam needed help. Okay.
And you know
He
what?
was struggling up in that
Believe
garden.
I believe that they need this. They need this come to Jesus moment because they need to show us how they're going to do it. All
Mhm.
right, bet. It's like, okay, the rest of the colleges are too
Yeah.
feminized. Show us what happens when the men are leading. Go ahead. Go ahead. Show us Christopher. Show us Ron. Show us.
And you see how the teachers have responded in kind. Listen, oh, them? Kentucky. Kentucky's like, oh my God, we've threatened to fine every teacher that teaches about Black history. We've threatened to fine them if they talk about gender. Now we don't have teachers. Oh my God. Nobody knows how to, no one's teaching reading. Oh my God, where are we going to pull teachers? I mean, can I tell you all something? I can't tell you all something. I'll never, I'll never let people talk about, especially, and I've criticized President Obama before. I've criticized him for some of his stuff. But let me tell you something. Nobody can ever step and tell me, well, after Obama, we can't have another Black leader. Well, based on 529 years of failure, shoot, I mean, who's had a
Right,
longer test?
right,
I mean, let's just throw it out there, everybody. 529 years versus how many years? I mean,
right,
hey, y'all bonk bonk. Missouri, we bonk, bonk. Every place where they've done anti-CRT, we are seeing a shortage of teachers and the pushback on Black teachers.
right. And okay, so I'm just going to do a quick little pause that is interjecting something. So, one of the books that I just finished up is called Driving the Green Book.
Okay.
So, and what is crazy about history and what is so just fascinating and sad is that history is so just not full. And like the people who learned about the Tulsa race riots had to learn about it by watching The Watchmen on HBO. And like, and then white people are like, this happened. So what's going to happen is that they are going to continue to give this sanitized version of history. And then once these kids get into the wider world where they see that this stuff is BS, they're going to be gobsmacked that they have been learning BS this whole time. And so I finished this book, Driving the Green Book. And the Green Book, the original Green Book, was created in from the 1930s to the 1960s so that Black people had had some guidance on where they could stop and use the bathroom and get gas and sleep, because it was a climate that, okay, but the Great Migration happened. Black people moved north, they moved west, they moved around because the South was terrible towards them. And so that is another reason why the South has continued to fail, because the history of Jim Crow segregation. And so Black people migrated away, but Black people still had to go back down South because their aunties was down there, Big Mama was down there, Papa was down there. And so if Papa died, they had to go to a funeral. So, but they needed a place to stay. So the fact that there was a Green Book, the fact that there was no places that white people wanted Black people to stay, that getting gas was a problem, tells us that our interpretation of history is going to be completely different depending on who our ancestors were. And so when we start talking about the microaggressions of just having a nice car to get from Michigan back to South Carolina, and having a nice car to some white people is an affront to their life, and you need to hurt that Black person. The fact that many of our ancestors went through that tells us that we have a parallel history in this country that needs to be discussed. So I am just putting it out there that y'all need to get this book, Driving the Green Book, because what they did in this book, these people, they drove the Green Book, and then they talked to the people that were still around, because the people who lived this were still around. So that means that the people who were implementing these behaviors are still around as well. So it's not like, desegregation happened and Jim Crow was squashed.
Thank
So
you.
all of a sudden it's happy, happy world, happy victory.
And you just said something. This is another thing I'm trying to get Black folks to do. Black folks, we need to write this stuff down. This is why
Yes.
I am trying to. These are all the projects I'm trying to do. We got to write this down, because here's my thing. Okay, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you want to say that Black history's leftist? Let's put this down and put her name by it. It's
Right.
not a vengeance. I'm sorry. These people need to be remembered for the legacy. Let me tell you the mistake we made with the Civil War, folks. After the Civil War, the mistake we made was we let them continue life, and we were like, oh, okay, well, we'll just all keep. No, it's no keep going.
Right.
We writing you down, your name down, your legacy down, and we're going to remember it. So,
You
like,
know what though? Hold up. But before you do that, it was the daughters of the Confederacy that were able to commemorate them. And
yes,
then because they kept on doing it for generation after generation, we now still have Confederate soldiers that are being commemorated.
but see, here's the thing. I'm telling us right now, we have to take charge of our narrative. This is what I'm trying to do on our channel. This is what you do so much, BurbNBougie, when you bring the Black woman voice to the forefront. We are taking control of our narrative. I want this written down. That's what I'm working with another person, getting this stuff written down. I want to have things like current event articles that are educational for people to go. And yeah, I might have like $1 or $2, because folks, can I tell you something? This work is expensive. I would just go for $1 or so for you all to be able to share this with your children. I want to have a running memory of everything these people are doing, everything they're doing right now. And you know what? And I will truly let history be your judge, because the attack of the Black woman started at the founding of this country. Our so-called founders, Thomas Jefferson. People talk about, oh, Sally Hemings. Sally Hemings was just one woman. Let's talk about Phyllis Wheatley. When Thomas Jefferson was struggling with whether or not to consider Black people human beings, he put down certain criteria. One of his criteria was the ability to write poetry. And when he read Phyllis Wheatley's poetry, he accused her of copying it from somewhere else. That's how tough. He didn't want Black women to be considered a human being. And he even said in his writings for Virginia, this is how you know Black women aren't anything, because even their own men don't preference them. Girl, that's a show. That's a show right there. He said even they Black men don't find them attractive. They want our women. They don't have long flowing hair. Look at Thomas Jefferson putting that colorism down, that beauty standard that you've been striving for, down right there in history. They don't have long flowing hair. They don't have this. They don't have that. That's why I can't consider them human beings, because remember, humanity wasn't determined by the man. It was determined by the woman. That is why they had to consider us property, because a lot of them white slave owners stepped and were having children by us, and they, President Biden.
Okay. Yes,
yeah,
please.
I got you.
Finish your statement and then double back.
And he sits up, and Thomas Jefferson laid the foundation for them to not only discredit Black people, but to keep their foot on the necks of Black women.
Yes.
Because there's a beauty standard there. There's your lack of intelligence. There's just your ability to breed. There's just your ability to do this. And it started from there, and it's not being discussed. People are like, oh, Thomas Jefferson, well, he was a complicated individual. He was complicated. He was complicated and racist. I want to get on this comment about President Biden's past comments about Black people. Let me tell you something. You'll never get from me that President Biden has not been racist.
Never.
You will never get that. But see, this is the quagmire that Black people find themselves in. So you have President Biden, who has said racist things about Black folks in the past, and he still says some problematic things. Okay. I got to look at a comment versus policy.
Right. And let's be real. He and others did put out problematic policies in the past. So we have to acknowledge it. But I think the difference is how we respond. Is like, okay, are we going to acknowledge that they did some some problematic stuff, or are we going to just scrap everything? What is how do we go for it?
And Little Miss Chocolate, here's what I always challenge people, especially when GOPers come to me with that. I said, well, you give me a list of white GOPers who told President Biden at that time he was being racist when he did all that. You can't find a name. This is why I tell people racism is bigger than Democrats and Republicans. Yes. See, when I pull away the political party label and you just have white people and white supremacy, now you understand them better.
Right.
Because white people have to be intentional about addressing their white supremacy. President Biden, I believe right now he's being intentional about addressing his white supremacy.
Right.
I think the other side is making a lot of excuses. But
let's see. And the thing is, when it comes to politics, I think that many of us, Black women especially, it's like we understand the climate that we are operating in. It's just like, okay, I can acknowledge that there are racist white liberals. I can acknowledge that I can acknowledge that. And there are no sacred cows as far as I'm concerned. People have heard me talk about Frederick Douglass. I will talk about MLK. I will talk about the problematic Black men in our community. And I'm certainly going to talk about the white problematic people as well. But we have to acknowledge, it's like, okay, on one side, they are coming for books. They're coming for gay folks. They are coming for women. They're coming for teachers. They're coming for nurses. So until we get to the point where the house is not burning anymore, we have to put out the fire of the house right now before we can talk about the garden on the outside of the house, before we could talk about the flowers that we are trying to decorate the house with. The house is on fire currently. We have got to put
We
out
on
the
fire.
fire.
We on fire. And let me tell you something. Always keep in mind, you use these political parties to get what you want. They're not your best friends and you're not in love with them.
Right.
You all use President Biden for what you can get.
Right.
Because he is problematic.
Period.
Because folks, because can I mention one name? Anita Hill, baby.
Right.
He problematic.
And the thing is, in that whole situation, this is the reason why when people have just a snippet of history and they look at it through a photograph versus a video, it's problematic. Because at what point has white men not been in charge of everything? At what point in time have white men been like, you know what, let's regard Black women as human, and let's take the word of a woman over a man? I don't care at any point in time. No woman is going to override the word of a man. I don't care if both of them are Black. If the woman was white and the man was Black, there's the peen is still going to tip the scales towards the man.
Because those white men went and got Black men to respond. That's right. Treat them like HR, baby. Let me tell you something. Those white men went and got Black men to write that 1776 project against that sister. They're going to get, this is why, look at the manosphere. That's white driven, folks. That's white driven.
Yep.
That's white driven. They are teaching these Black men that they have to treat us a certain way because somehow we out of control, because this is the control they have always exercised over their women. And I said, Black men, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you be the problem in your community. Don't you do that. Okay.
Right.
This is why we have to be aware of who is coming for us. This is why when you all go online and get those Black history lessons, you need to see who wrote those, because they have sent so many Black folks out to write you all some terrible Black history. That's why I'm doing it myself. Me and a couple more people, we're going to do it. Now, please support us when we do. I'm going to keep you all updated on that. Please support us when we do, so we can get this together.
So, you know, like a couple of months ago, when Shiny Happy People came out about the people under the Duggar family and them, and watching that documentary, you saw that they had written this curriculum and sent it out like a McDonald's franchise, and they have been planting the seeds for 2 generations. And so they have been planting this evangelical curriculum for 2 generations. And so it is deep and it's insidious. And we are seeing the fruits of those trees and those branches right now. And so what we have failed to do as Black people, we see one issue and then we attack that issue when they have a bigger plan. And what we do as well, Black people, the whole trans issue and the gay issue, that sends us off. That makes us look over here when we need to be worried. We need to be worried about what they're doing overall. They will put that like the bathroom issue over here. They're coming for your kids. They're coming for your kids. They're coming for your kids. And over here, they sitting up here writing out legislation to where they can undermine everybody's education. And so they have a bigger plan, and we are not paying attention because we're too worried about the 3 trans kids per school district, whereas libraries cannot be staffed right now.
So here's what's interesting. So Ted Cruz, you know, he gets on his soapbox about CRT. Here's what people didn't know. while he had all these other folks, these MAGA folks out attacking libraries and everything, his kids' own school, they have Dr. Kendi's books. Now, Dr. Kendi was one of the authors that they were huge on attacking, have all his books staffed in his kids' library. You didn't hear once about, you didn't hear him once go down and complain about his kids' school and shut it down. Hold on. Let me just get y'all together. Because see, Black folks, see, BurbNBougie already told y'all, and you're being hard-headed. She going to get you later, okay? She going to go to get a switch from the tree and get y'all later. You being hard-headed. Listen, she's right. This is why my channel is a must, because I want us to organize. And when I say Black Lives Matter, that includes folks don't come over to my channel with none of that homophobic stuff, because I'm tired of us getting our community off track with that homophobic stuff. Because when they disenfranchise the LGBTQ community, there are Black LGBTQ folks too.
Right.
Every group that they're trying to, the basis is being anti-Black. Until this country solves the anti-Blackness, it's not going to solve anything else.
Right.
Because every agenda that you're seeing, we are playing. Every agenda that we see, folks, is based and rooted in anti-Blackness. So let me give you a big picture of what's going on in education, especially in red states. By the way, blue states, they're coming for you too. That's why they're clowning in California, because California is the roadmap to clown in your states.
Right.
And they've taken over parts of California. San Francisco, the right-wing takeover is intense. And every place they go is now unaccredited. They don't even have a credit score everywhere they go. Every place they've torn up, we're not seeing learning happening, and it's done on purpose. And what white people don't understand is you last on the menu, but guess what, sweetheart? You are on the menu. And when they get done eating us, won't be anybody around to protect you. Guess what's going to happen to you? You done.
So, and that anti-Black sentiment has been what has jacked all of the non-white communities up, because the thing is that what the Asians see, what the Latinas see, what these people see is they're attacking Black people, they're attacking Black women. I am safe. Let me just stay on my best behavior over here, and they won't even know. Like, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't look at me. But they coming for them too. So after they keep attacking us, they are coming for the Asian folk. They're coming for the Indian. I mean, they're coming for them. But since anti-Black sentiment is so prevalent and so normalized, at least I'm not a Black woman. At least I'm not a gay Black man. I mean, I'm Christian. I'm not Ravi. What's his name? What's that dude's name? That Indian dude, Ravi. What's his name?
Oh, Rama Swami. Oh, honey, they hitting him so tough. They done called him Hindu. Talk about they don't support him because he Hindu. Oh, that's Hindu business, honey. But see, here's what kills me with Rama Swami. Rama Swami is so typical. He's so uncreative. First of all,
what's his name? What's his name?
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek, okay.
And let me throw in Nikki Haley, Nimrata.
Right. Yeah. Tell her what's her real name again?
Nimrata. Right. She know not to go by that. She know better.
Right.
Let me talk about both of them. So all these immigrants who come over and preach to Black folks about all that we can do and how we can do better, they forget it was Black people, Black women who marched in the streets for us to have immigration laws so that they can come over and smart off to us. Because white folks had immigration laws for white immigrants, not for them. And I tell them every time I talk to them, you welcome, sweetheart, that we were out there making sure you could come over here and smart off to us.
Right.
Vivek built he has built his career on Black folks. In fact, it was discovered at his own company, which shockingly went under. He claimed that he had a cure for something, and that cure didn't work. And so, per the zaddy that they have, Donald Trump, Oh, I'm a successful businessman because I made money. Honey, your business wasn't made off of you making a successful product. Your money was built off your business collapsing.
Right.
And then he came
And
up with
stealing from
anti-woke.
people.
Then he
And
came up
stealing
with
from people.
anti-woke. Girl, don't get me started on him. Oh, girl,
So I need to take a moment and have a commercial break because I have about 10 minutes left. I have to do a hard stop at 10. I do hard stops at 10 because my kids go to swim lessons.
babe, your kids.
But I have a book available. It's called Ashy Men Will Make You Fat, a petty self-help guide. And we put out a book. This year, I have built a network on 2 different platforms, and I've put out a book. Ashy Men Will Make You Fat, a petty self-help guide. But what I have learned about, and you guys can get this at BurbNBougieShop.com, BurbNBougieShop.com. What I have learned about this process of making a book it's not even just this book that is valuable. It is creating the logistics to put out a book, because I am not an author. I am not a publisher, but I have a voice. And because I have a voice and a network, I'm going to be able to take other people's voices and put it in a freaking book. And that is grassroots, because all of us don't have the ability and the power and the money to create curriculum for schools. But I have the power to put out my own book, and I did.
You did. She killing, folks. She is just killing it.
So I do. So eventually I do want to work with Chloe, because we are going to have to create something that is a curriculum to put out, because they are coming for education and they are unapologetic about it. They are loud about the fact that they are coming for education. So what are we going to do about it?
So first of all, people on my channel, see, people think everybody has to be a Dr. King and a Malcolm X. Everybody is not going to reach those heights.
Right.
But folks, we've been given the answers in history. Black women been giving y'all the answers, and you're not listening. You're not listening. Look, your power is in community. First, so this is what I tell everybody. Your school district, I want you all to go and find other parents that are like-minded. Our job is simple, and I'm unapologetic when I say I want us to organize around protecting Black children, because what I'm not going to have in 20 years of Black children able to look back and say, you allowed these folks to traumatize us. Oh no, not on Chloe's watch, you're not.
Right.
Okay. I need you all to get like-minded people together. And I can show you how to organize your committee to where you will run like a well-oiled machine and they won't know where you came from. I don't know if you all remember this school district that was on the news, Rockwood. That's one of the school, that was the one, honey, where that woman had that meltdown holler. She was not a racist, girl.
Oh yeah, I do remember
honey,
that.
and just listen, they had to scoop her up off the floor. As she, proceed to continue to support racist policies. I went to that place. And I got those people organized, and now their school board is back on track. I'm bringing you stuff that works. I need Black people to do it with me. I need you, and I need you from every state. And think of my page as a central reporting port. I need you. Folks, we can't do this I can't do this by myself. I can't. I need you.
Yep. Please. And that's what activism is in real life. It's like not everybody is going to be the mouthpiece or have the capacity to send out the information. Not everybody has the knowledge or the ground level, the foundational information. So this is where activism is born. Activism is doing what we can with the tools that we have currently, because I can't do it all. You can't do it all. We need money behind it. We need all of this going together to be able to come for these people that are moneyed people that have the power.
When you say moneyed, I need you all to understand how tough we are. Our one school board. They were so tough to get behind this anti-LGBTQ candidate. They dropped $48,000 in one day on her book. This is the
Mm,
sort of money we're against. So when BurbNBougie or me put our products out there and we ask for like $5, $8, folks, let me tell you something. I'm not passing around a collection plate trying to beg, but as Black women, we need to stop thinking that Black women should give their services for free all the time.
right.
That's one of the hard lessons we have to learn. I struggle with that. I struggle with selling things. So I'm like, I should be doing this for free. It's like, sis, no, you better cut that out.
Right. Because we got to eat. My kids got swim lessons. I need to be safe and have Wi-Fi. I need a good camera. It's like this. And the thing is, it's like for some people, they are just asking for money, but we need to be able to survive and, eat and have something for our kids. So it's not like we're even asking for a whole lot.
I don't know if it's pronounced Maya, but Maya. And we get lost every time talk about LGBTQ every time. The same authors. I don't understand. I
Right.
don't understand.
All right, let's see what Bree is talking about. She said money is definitely needed to push public policies that we need. Yes. And that's the thing. It's like this is public policy and we all know the history. The Democrats did the KKK.
We
We
get
know
it.
this. We know.
We
But
get
you have to you have to look at the current outlets of where you can get in and make a difference. It's like even if a racist planted a tree outside of my house right now, I can still go out and get a piece of fruit from that tree and eat it right now. It's like, yes, racists did stuff in this country, but we need to get these policies done. So what is the vehicle that I'm
it.
going to jump into right now?
This is why I don't cut off Republicans completely, because we do need folks on both sides of the aisle, and I do try to find those people on both sides, because Black folks need to be able to maneuver. That's one thing Latinos have successfully done. They have people on both sides of the aisle. That's why
Right.
immigration is a thing no matter who gets in.
And that's one of the main reasons though that with the inflammatory language, we forget to just look at people's humanity, because at the end of the day, I want my children to have a good education. At the end of the day, I want to walk to a grocery store and buy some food. At the end of the day, I need some money to be able to go to the grocery store and buy some food. We need streets that are paved. We need to talk about these things that overwhelmingly touch all of us, but we pick and choose the small inflammatory things that divide versus the things that we can do to talk about the where we connect.
Yes.
So, and yes. So, like I said,
That's it, Lady Godiva. Sorry.
I have to do a hard stop, but you can have the last word and you can address this comment.
Lady Godiva, you're 100% correct. Leave nothing on the table. Start local. We talked about Joe Biden, but I need y'all local. I need you on school boards. We can even get people to help you learn how to structure a campaign. I have people who know how to do this, and we can get you guidance, get on committees, get on PTOs. You flood your schools because that's where they're at.
Yep. So just as a reminder, tell everybody where they can find you, because Chloe is getting her social media started. She has been passionate on Facebook, but Facebook is not the vehicle to get us where we're going. So tell everybody where they can find you.
I am Educationally Yours. It has a 5 behind it. Educationally Yours. Please, I have a little blonde girl with, dark skin. Please subscribe, like. You must do that so I can get on the algorithm, but please subscribe so we can start getting this organized and getting this together and getting our history out.
All right. I appreciate you coming. For the people that are going to watch this on the playback, I appreciate it. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you're watching my videos and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That helps me out, and it's free to y'all to do that. You see, we're not asking for much, but we're just asking for a like and a subscribe.
Absolutely.
And I am going to just hit these buttons. It's okay, sweet Pop Tart. You can catch us on the playback. I always do my lives with my guests from 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so on Saturdays. That is my little window for my live discussions. So don't even worry about it. You'll catch the next live. I'm going to do something, I'm sure. So, all right. I am going to end this live. Chloe, you can stay there for just a moment.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.